started grading the teacher. It was a normal 7th grade class, and the teacher was exhausting. She talked too fast, she never explained anything, and her lessons were always boring. So before colonization, the Native Americans were showing signs of societal systems, and you see, it was really interesting because if colonization never happened, well, this one kid, one day decided to leave her a note. And it wasn't rude, it was a sticky note that he put on her desk. It said, "You talk really fast, it's hard to keep up. And you skipped the lab yesterday. We were actually excited for that." He didn't sign it, and the next day, class feels different. She slows down, she starts with a story about her night. Guys, you won't believe it. Last night, I was feeding my cat, and then later, I thought the cat food was tuna, and I ate some. And at the end of class, she says this. Also, class, if you ever have any thoughts about how I teach or suggestions, feel free to leave a note right here. You don't gotta sign it or anything. It's actually very helpful. And now notes are showing up every day. Please stop calling on the same 3 people. That video was actually kind of helpful. Can we do more labs or just something hands-on? She reads every single one, she adjusts, and class starts to feel human. Weeks later, a kid leaves this note. "This is my favorite class now. Thank you." And she taped that note onto the whiteboard. Now that's a lovely story. Every year during the week of Halloween, there was costume day. On that day, kids went This teacher is insane for this. This class had just finished reading Lord of the Flies in English, and the teacher? She was passionate, maybe too passionate. So after they had finished reading this Lord of the Flies, the next day she tells them this. "Class, we are going into the woods tomorrow. Bring a backpack full of things. We're gonna live like the boys on the island." So next day they come with backpacks full of stuff and they head to the woods. No rules, no roles, just chaos. She hands them bandanas and points to the woods behind the school. "All right, go." 1 teacher and 20 students, and these weren't just regular kids. Somebody brought a pillowcase full of flour and was whacking people with it. Another kid filled a spray bottle with perfume and was spraying in another kid's eyes, trying to blind them. Take that. Soon there was turf wars, alliances, groups getting ambushed. Kids were using mud as war paint. They were getting feral. And the teacher was just standing there at the edge of the woods watching this go down like it's some sort of social experiment. Yes. 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 And it went way too far. Kids were getting bloody noses, one person was throwing up profusely, I don't know why, and the teacher didn't get in trouble for this, not even like a warning or anything. The principal didn't even know about any of this until a parent called a couple days later, but he still did nothing. And the crazy part is, the next year, this teacher did the same exact thing. Honestly, that sounds kind of fun. One day, this kid came to middle school with pink eye. He didn't really tell anybody about it, because if the school knew he had pink eye, they would make him stay home. Well, this was right around the time where classes were having some of their biggest tests of the year, and students were getting stressed out. "Oh, dude, I couldn't study at all this week. I'm gonna fail this test. Like, it's bad. I tried my best. Hopefully I passed, but you know. What's wrong with your eye, dude?" "I have pink eye." "Oh my god, you have pink eye? Why are you here?" "Because they're serving chicken nuggets at lunch today. I can't miss that." "Dude, if you give me pink eye right now, I'll have it by tomorrow and I won't be able to take the test." "Gives me more time." "Dude, alright, $10. Okay, here." Alright, you ready? Go for it. Okay. Well, word spread, and that day, this dude made $350. The school got pretty suspicious why tons and tons of students had pink eye at the same time. They couldn't really pin it on anybody. And it was a win-win. This kid made some good money, and tons of students were able to pass their tests because they had more time to study.
Yay!
The craziest senior prank of all time. It's right after graduation. 20 to 30 seniors meet up in the school parking lot. And they're all carrying these giant bags, and in the bags are about 5,000 bouncy balls. You know the ones that you throw on the ground and they just shoot straight up? Well, these seniors had already graduated, so they were done with school. They had somebody sneak them in through the school's side door. And during this time, lunch is in full swing. 200 to 300 kids are in this cafeteria. The seniors head up to the balcony that overlooks the cafeteria. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Every single bag is dumped over the railing at once. A rainbow waterfall of bouncy balls falls down and slams to the floor. Instant chaos, because the second they went down, they were coming right back up. It was like a wave of bouncy balls heading towards all these kids eating. It was instant chaos. All the seniors scatter away, and the kids in the cafeteria are going crazy. What is happening? What is this? I need my mom. One of the security guards sees one of the seniors running away, and he tackles her. Come here, come here. Ah! He drags her to the office, and she folds immediately, snitches on everybody. Every one of the seniors got a $200 trespassing fine, and they were so mad at her. Well, years later, one of them checked her Facebook page, and guess what she became? A security guard. Yeah, that's no surprise. What a snitch. Hey, yo, what's your name? Why? Just answer the question, man. So at this one high school, there's this senior named Jordan. And he's not just popular, he's influential. Like, if he were to wear pajama pants to school one day, the next day, half the school would also be wearing pajama pants. If he calls you something in the hallway, people would hear it, and that's your name now. And he knows that. Hey, your name? Emily? Cool, that'll be $5. What? You can pay me $5, or I pick something else. You'll pick a different name for me, like what? You don't want to find out. At first, people think he's joking, until one poor kid refuses to pay, and is known as Meat Wallet for the rest of the semester. Even the sub called him that one day. After that, everyone started paying. Yo, did you get a name yet? Yeah, I paid him yesterday. I'm Connor now. But your name is Connor. Exactly. Thank God I paid him. By homecoming, he made over $200. One kid's name is still Pockets, and no one knows why. This was a pretty small town school, so that's probably why something like this was flying around. But in the end, he wasn't just selling names. He was selling protection from pure humiliation. Weird hustle, but I respect it. This teacher is insane for this. This class had just finished reading Lord of the Flies in English, and the teacher? She was passionate, maybe too passionate. So after they had finished reading this Lord of the Flies, the next day she tells them this. Class, we are going into the woods tomorrow. Bring a backpack full of things. We're gonna live like the boys on the island. So next day they come with backpacks full of stuff and they head to the woods. No rules, no roles, just chaos. She hands them bandanas and points to the woods behind the school. All right, go. One teacher and 20 students, and these weren't just regular kids. Somebody brought a pillowcase full of flour and was whacking people with it. Another kid filled a spray bottle with perfume and was spraying another kid's eyes, trying to blind them. Take that. Soon there was turf wars, alliances, groups getting ambushed. Kids were using mud as war paint. They were getting feral. And the teacher was just standing there at the edge of the woods watching this go down like it's some sort of social experiment. Yes. 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 And it went way too far. Kids were getting bloody noses, one person was throwing up profusely, I don't know why, and the teacher didn't get in trouble for this, not even like a warning or anything. The principal didn't even know about any of this until a parent called a couple days later, but he still did nothing. And the crazy part is, the next year, this teacher did the same exact thing. Honestly, that sounds kind of fun. In 8th grade, this art teacher had a locked cabinet in the back of the room. It was kind of mysterious. She never talked about it, but once a week, she would go back there, unlock it, take out a small handful of things, and walk away. Kids would whisper, wondering what's inside. Is it expensive paints? Ancient artifacts? Animals? Well, one semester, this student named Riley was picked to stay after school one day to help clean some stuff up. The teacher leaves the room for 5 minutes, and that cabinet key is just sitting there on the desk. So he opens it slow and carefully.
Opening it slow and carefully.
Inside were stacks and stacks of goldfish cracker boxes. No art supplies, no ancient masterpieces, just enough frickin' goldfish crackers to feed a small country. When the teacher comes back in, Riley asks, "Cabinet goldfish! Why?" "Oh, it's my favorite snack. I take one handful per class.
And I just munch on them. I love them."
It was just her own personal snack cabinet. Who would have thought? This family doesn't do game night. They do drills, fire drills, earthquake drills, intruder drills, and not because they're paranoid, because they think it's fun. Okay guys, fire drill time. All right family, earthquake drill. All right guys, intruder drill, milk drill. Go to bed, Grandpa. Each week a different family member hosts the drill. Whoever's hosting the drill has to make it as real as they possibly can. At first it started basic. Fire drill was yelling, there was timers and alarm, but then they would get creative. They put out space heaters in the doorways to make it feel hot. They turned the heat up to 90 degrees in the house, even in the summer. They pumped fake smoke from a fog machine. It was nuts. The earthquake drill. They moved the furniture ahead of time. They would blast low frequency bass through the speakers, makes the house seem like it's vibrating. And they would have their friends come over and slam a bunch of doors to make it seem like the house is falling apart. Now they would do multiple fire drills, multiple earthquake drills. What they would do is they would just try to improve it every single time they would do it. Now the intruder drills are where things kind of got out of hand. The son hires a guy to come in the house at 2:14 in the morning to break in, essentially. Well, he gets there. What does he want me to do? The door's locked. What is that? He tries the windows. They're locked as well. What the heck? This guy's an actor, right? He thought he was doing an acting gig. Then he looks at the second floor window and he sees the kid that hired him. Psst, actually break in. What? So he does. He takes a rock and he smashes the window, and the family, they start screaming. Although they know it's a drill, they're just playing the part. So they know it's a drill, he knows it's a drill, but the neighborhood does not. And the police are called immediately. Yeah, somebody's breaking into my neighbor's house right now. The cops come and they actually arrest this dude. And he's trying to say like, no, this is fake, they hired me. And the police are like, yeah, right. So they take him to the station. The family then shows up to the police station and tries to explain, yo, we actually hired him. Here's the messages. This is just a drill. And although that is insane, that sounds kinda awesome. In this house, the entire family did something crazy. Every night, an alarm went off at 2 a.m. School nights, weekdays, holidays, it did not matter. Everyone had an alarm. And when it rang, you got up. You would then head down to the kitchen. Your milk. Once everybody was down there, the lights would turn on and the fridge would open. And the entire family would just grab stuff they wanted to eat. Didn't matter. Leftovers, cereal, meatballs, whatever existed in the fridge was free game at 2 a.m. Then they would sit around the table, half asleep, and eat whatever snacks they had. And they talked about nothing. And after about 15 to 20 minutes, they all went back to bed every single day. 10 p.m. they would sleep, 2 a.m. kitchen, morning, work, and school. And this kid, he never questioned it because he thought that that's just how families work. Well, when he slept over at a friend's house for the first time, he set his alarm for 2 a.m. And when it went off, he went down to the kitchen. And nobody was there. He waited there for about 6 minutes, but nobody came down. I've been waiting here for about 6 minutes, but nobody's coming down. So he just goes back to bed, and in the morning, he brings it up to his friend. And his friend thought he was crazy. Well, yeah. This guy says that even now, years later, sometimes he will randomly wake up at 2 a.m., like his body's trying to get him to go to the kitchen. Just an instinct. And sometimes he does go down there and grabs a snack. That's nice.